Look at the picture. See the skull. Visible Frankenstein controls. The Brain Thoughts broadcasting radio. The Frankenstein earphone radio. The latest new skull reforming to contain all Frankenstein controls.
Welcome, everyone, to another Frankenstein Control, your weekly ration of edutainment on topics you didn't ask to learn about. For example, the fact that Alfalfa from Little Rascals was murdered for dog money. More on that in a bit, if you remind me.
Dog money?
Yes. We'll get to that in a little bit. If you remind me, I'll tell you that story.
All right.
We'll learn all about that. Anyhow, we're brought to you tonight firstly by me, B-Rai. So I can do a sad thing.
Okay.
I purchased our initial ad space tonight to say a few words about my grandfather, William Paris, better known in these circles as Grandpa Rye. He passed away the Friday after our previous recording session at the terrific age of 92, and I'm really going to miss him. For more than 20 years, it was a Saturday afternoon family ritual to gather at his house for drinks, snacks, and conversation. So the best way to toast his memory, then, naturally, is to give everyone his recipe, or more accurately, the correct way to order the drink that was known as his signature cocktail. He would always ask for a Beefeater dry martini up with a twist. That means Beefeater gin, which was his favorite, but he would also accept Tanqueray or Bombay Sapphire in a pinch. You can make it at home with Aristocrat like I did, because all three of those brands cost 80,000 goddamn dollary-doos a bottle. Dry means little to almost no vermouth, akin to Churchill's just glancing at it method. This is the best way to order a martini, by the way, because vermouth tastes like Satan's stomach bile. I cannot stand that shit. It is so fucking gross.
Didn't you guys try to drink that straight one time?
Steven tried to drink that straight because Steven turned 21 and, oh boy, I can buy booze now. I don't know that much about booze, so, because most of my experience has been with beer, so I'm just going to go and buy generic alcohol, and he brought home a bottle of vermouth to drink. Now, that could have also been an extremely long con, a knowing gross purchase, because that was also the night that he double hot sauced the whiskeys and hot sauced his own whiskey so that I wouldn't believe him and I drank his.
Yeah.
And yeah, we've told that story before. I'm not going into that again. Anyhow, asking for the martini up, that means it's not served with ice. I've never seen a martini served with ice in the glass before, so I'm not sure why he always specified that, but that was verbatim. That was part of the standard formula. Mm-hmm. And lastly, you add a twist of lemon or lime. I don't mind either, but he insisted on lemon. That was the correct way, and he'd send it back. All of this was shaken, not stirred, of course. So if you ever want to impress somebody by ordering a classy drink, even if that somebody is you, try one of these and raise a glass to old Grandpa Rye. Alrighty, so now that the sad stuff is out of the way, we have just enough time for a brief check-in on the news. Earlier this week, or however long it was recently, time is weird now.
It is.
However, sometime within the past lunar cycle, President Trump's former attack dog lawyer, Michael Cohen, testified before Congress regarding the unethical and illegal things he claims he did at the president's own direction. Many people conjectured that having the person you employed specifically to settle and bury your most damaging secrets, describing lots of them on a televised global stage, would be the president's worst nightmare. However, during his rambling CPAC speech on Saturday, Trump downplayed the seriousness of the Cohen situation and stated that his actual worst nightmare is being chased through an endless palatial mansion by the general from the auto insurance commercials, who's riding a horse with human hands instead of all four hooves.
Oh, God.
He tries to hide from the general in a bathroom, and then he looks in the mirror and sees that he's Slimer from Ghostbusters and wakes up screaming.
So he sees himself.
Pretty much. The ghost of me! So anyway, that's what's going on with me in the state of our country. What's new with you guys?
Speaking of nightmares, I had an interesting dream.
What was that?
The night before last. It was, first of all, it was a work dream, so those are always fun.
Oh.
Yeah. But anyway, I'm like in the kitchen, and I get an order, and so like I in the context of the dream, I was like staying late to help out, So basically, I could technically leave at any time, but chose to stay.
Uh-huh.
Anyway, this order comes in. I'm doing something. Nobody goes to pick it up, so I start it. I look at the screen, and it says, hamburger, traditional bun, toasted, burger, cheese, pea, lettuce.
Do you mean the letter P?
As in urine.
Oh, no.
No.
And I'm like, how am I going to pee on this burger? Wait a second, does he actually want it peed on? So like I asked the guy that ordered it, hey, do you want me to actually pee on your burger? And he's like, yeah, I ordered it that way. It's my kink, you have to do it. And then I just said, no, I'm leaving.
As you should have, and as I think that anyone honestly would.
The customer is always blight.
No, customer is always peed on.
You have your pee, sir.
I want my pee!
You have your pee, sir.
Jolly mustard.
Ooh, the alfalfa dog murder thing.
Oh yes, what was that?
So this is just something I learned recently. The actor who played Alfalfa on the original ancient-ass Little Rascals, which was apparently called Our Gang. It was never called Little Rascals. I have no idea why that IP is referred to as Little Rascals now, or when
They
that change
they
started.
like remade some of it.
Okay.
Like they made a modern, like 90s movie.
Yeah.
And then probably some cartoon show that was shit and nobody
I
ever watched.
I
They
remember
called
that.
those the Little Rascals.
Okay.
And it's probably, if they were called themselves a gang, the gang was probably called the Little Rascals.
Yeah. Yeah. Or that was back in the hey gang kind of way
Yeah.
you talked about things.
Like how the Scooby-Doo mystery team is a gang.
Yeah.
You
They're like I had to kill a guy to get in.
You don't remember the episode where Spunky had to kill a guy and then Froggy was like, blood in, blood out.
So yeah, the actor on the original like black and white ancient Little Rascals, the guy who played Alfalfa, when he grew up and stopped being a child actor and was like our age, he was a dog breeder. That's just what he ended up doing for a living.
Ah.
And one of his expensive breeder dogs escaped his yard, and I guess some local dude found the dog and like brought it back to him, and he was like, "Oh my God, thank you for finding my expensive ass dog. Here's $50 as a reward."
Uh-huh.
And then later on, he was like, I guess thinking about $50. That's a lot of money back now. I shouldn't be throwing. I can't afford to, like, my rent's gonna bounce because I gave this dude too much money as a dog money reward.
Yeah.
So he went to the guy's house and was like, "It's gonna be awkward as hell, but hey, it's me, Alfalfa. I hate to ask you this, but can I have that money back that I gave you for the dog?" And the guy shot him.
Wow.
What?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. And that's how he died.
Jesus.
I just picture like a grave with like his hair sticking out through the.
See, in reality, there's probably a fight.
Oh, there was definitely
before
a fight.
that, but
Well, there was
just-
definitely a fight. But
I like to imagine he just walked up and said politely, "Hey, could I have some of the money I gave you back?" He just, bam! No hesitation.
He had the gun already
Yeah.
when he answered the door. I think in real life it did like boil into an argument, which then turned into a fist fight, which then turned into a shooting.
Yeah.
Which then turned into dead Alfalfa. But.
Good old Alfalfas. Wonder what he's up to now.
Another, yeah. Oh God, another thing that happened recently because of my grandfather died, and I was like, I don't even have like a suit to wear. Like I have to go buy one, and so I went to Kohl's. And Dad was like, he's like, you officially have my permission to get a suit you can use for more than just this. Like, if you're going to buy a suit, like, don't get, like, so black that it can only be used at a funeral. Like, get something you could repurpose for job interviews or other things, like dark gray, like good, we know that you tried.
Yeah.
It's okay to do that. So, I was going to do that, and then I was like, holy shit, this costs $260 for just the pants. Time to go to the clearance section. So I went to the clearance section, and I was like, I guess I got to piece together from the pants and jackets that they have assorted here something that looks like a close enough match so that I can, buy it and wear it as a single outfit. And while I was doing that, I saw a black jacket that was actually in my size. And I touched it, and it was some kind of velveteen bullshit, and not like a normal coat.
Oh.
And I was like, the only person who would wear this is a dead pimp. And, I already told the story to friend of the show, Josh, to which he responded, "That's what you wear to the Play a Haters Ball."
Which that's where the after party is going to be held.
Yes.
The wake.
The wake is the...
It's wrong to call it an after party in this specific instance, I think.
I think he'd be fine with that.
I think it's not the afterlife, it's the after party.
That's a good one.
Yeah, son. Celebrate. Well, B.R.I., it's a shame that such an awesome dude had to leave this world. I hope that his caregiver, I hope his caregiver can get over the shock of finding him with a gun that one time.
Yeah, that's a fun story for the ages.
What would you say would be your ideal funeral? Like, how do you want your funeral to go?
Okay, I gotta think about that one.
So for mine, I want my body to be only somewhat embalmed, like not entirely done. It's just so I don't get too rotten and smelly. And I want to be propped up on a chair, like on a bench, and have everybody that comes to the funeral has to take like a gross picture with me.
Yeah,
That's horrifying. Jesus Christ.
They have to hug my dead body.
That's a nightmare.
Smile with it.
That is did you design that specifically to, like, give me PTSD?
Yes. You have to do it or else you're not my friend. I'll haunt you, V-Rod.
I'd be fine with that, because then I could just hang out with your ghost.
That's true.
Yeah.
We don't need the rest of you. Throw her in the trash. I intend to not die because I don't want to have children, and I'm going to use all the money that I save by not having children to have robot caretakers and or the Singularity Ray Kurzweil nanomachines keep me alive forever. Failing that, I want to be taxidermied and propped up in like the snarling bear position.
Can I have that as a part 2 to mine?
Yes.
I want to be taxidermied.
Yeah. And then, I want to be kept around as a coat rack. And I don't want to be buried or, like, cremated. I want to be kept around as a treasured and, honored and feared family heirloom.
You'll be like that Elmer Fudd guy who they found at the body museum.
Yeah.
I want to be the new Elmer McCurdy.
That's the one.
Dress me up like a cowboy.
He was never a cowboy when he was alive. It's what he wanted.
What is my perfect way to leave this mortal coil?
I have an idea for you.
What?
What we're going to do is chop you up
Uh-huh.
into different segments.
Mhm.
So we have like your, basically like cut your arm off so you got like a whole bunch of different joints. Basically at the joints, and then cut those joints in half.
Oh.
And then affix them all to runners. Put you in a giant cardboard box with your picture on it and bury it.
I get this.
He died as he lived.
A
Gunpla.
Gundam model.
And then ancient, well, not ancient, future
archaeologists. Future archaeologists will dig you up and go, why are there so many hands? There's far more hands than he should have had. God, if only they included more guns instead of all these hands. That'd be a lot more fun.
Well, you need the gripping hands, but you also need the stylish hands.
We just steal a bunch of hands to bury with you.
Ugh.
And of course the guns and the knives.
I think I figured it out. I want to be encased in acrylic. just put my body in an acrylic cube.
Okay.
So
And then what we'll do is I want to go to a big old hill, and everybody gets to take turns. We're gonna just grease up my cube, and we're gonna take turns just riding down the hill on the Taylor cube.
We be posed in like a like a DBZ flying position.
Yes,
or something.
I will want to be posed like I'm Goku.
Pose like you're mid Naruto run.
But that's a tall cube. That'll be falling over and stuff. You know, you don't want to. Well, Damien Hirst you in a tank like that weird shark.
You know, actually, that's I think I can go farther with this one. What I want is I don't want to be pumped full of formaldehyde. I want to be pumped full of resin, so that I just become this ultra hard carbonite Taylor, and then we can have fun with the ultra dense corpse of a fat man. Or another one we could do is it's a closed casket funeral, and then midway through the ceremony, the casket opens up and there's just a bunch of spiders in there. They all come crawling out. They're all scared of the light and shit, so they're like, ah! And
That's horrible. Jesus.
And everybody starts freaking out, but also the Spider-Man theme song is blaring on the church's speakers. And so, like, in the bedlam and panic, that's when people start to realize that my propped-up corpse has been sitting amongst them all along.
And you got like, if I outlive you, which I probably will.
Yes, very likely.
I'll be up there puppet stringing you.
Yes,
So you're
please.
like...
Please do. Marionette that shit. People be like, oh my god!
None of this is funny. This is horror town. This is god awful.
Like,
I'll make you do that one dance that like the gif of the skeleton puppet does.
yes! Back and forth, cha-cha-cha kind of
I knew immediately what you were talking about.
Actually, that's a pretty good one. Let's go with that marionette idea. We'll just accept instead. It's midway through the ceremony, it's closed casket, and then midway through, all the lights go out except a spotlight in the middle of the church, and then my corpse gets lowered down on the marionette, and just take it back, take it back now, y'all. 2 hops this time.
I was just gonna have it be an open casket. If I outlive the both of you, and therefore I'm executing your will, I'm gonna have it be an open casket, but it's your feet, and like you're just gonna be in it backwards. Like,
That's pretty good.
the rest of you is hidden in the bottom of the.
If we're going back to the resin idea, actually I have a new idea. What I want is I want to be folded into the shape of a wheel, and then pumped full of resin, so I stay that way, and then you can roll me down hills like a hula hoop.
That is. I reiterate my strong opinion that this is deeply disturbing and upsetting. Like, none of this is funny to me. I am really I'm not good right now.
I'm sorry, but you're right. I'm sorry, man.
I want to take your resin idea a little bit. I want to be in a position where like I'm standing up with my arms pointed above me, kind of like making a giant A, and make me into like a giant resin rectangle, and then slice those and make each slice a surfboard.
Oh.
And just surf around on a bisected
on a slice of
corpse half.
That's horrifying.
It's kind of just like what they do at the Museum of Death, except with a surfboard.
Mm-hmm. So it's funky.
So it's funky. Funky and fresh.
And everyone's like, why did she do this? She never had any interest in surfing.
Yeah.
So let's go ahead and change the subject from
Morbidity.
morbid things.
I saw a car on my way home from the lab on Friday, and I was just behind this car that just said Jesus. In block letters on the lower part of the bumper, it just said Jesus. There was no, like, church affiliation. There was no qualifier for that. It just said Jesus in block letters on the bottom of his car.
Rewinding one of the man Jesus.
Mm-hmm.
It's about their son, Jesus.
Ah, that's right. They just put a big old name tag on it.
Or maybe the car is named Jesus.
Maybe the guy owning the car, the person whose car it is Jesus, and he just put his name on there.
Yeah, so,
What's
so
everybody
you
know?
wouldn't get confused.
Yeah.
Because, like, his best friend has an identical car, and they always get into each other's incorrect cars.
Speaking of cars, I completely fucked mine up yesterday.
What'd you do?
So I was driving. I picked my brother up at like midnight from the airport, and then we're driving, and then like it's the back road, so it's really dark. And all of a sudden, there's an entire fucking tire in the goddamn road, and I run straight into it.
Wow.
And it had the rim in it and everything, and it completely caved in the front of my bumper, and I think the undercarriage is fucked up because I hear grinding noises every time I turn my wheels, and I want to die.
Well, that's no fun.
This is not a great time for everybody because, in addition to my grandfather dying, I have to schedule a shit ton of midterms right in the middle of processing his death. Some of these which have to be online, very stressful to buy. I had to buy equipment to take my own tests.
Of course.
Because I couldn't just use the library because the school changed the rules. I have a bunch of stuff that I have to do in my lab. I am working full time still. I had worse. Oh yeah, and it's car month for me. Not only does the sticker on my windshield, I gotta get that done, but on top of that, it's like my car's 120,000 mile checkup is due, so it probably needs a shit ton of work.
Yeah.
It might fail inspection, and if all of these things weren't bad enough, I also have to pay my car insurance bill this month, which is going to be at least $500.
Oh, God.
You do the 6-month thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, that's what I gotta do.
A whole bunch of fun shit happening around the globe. What a good time.
That's what happens when you're an adult.
Mm-hmm.
At least we all got full-time jobs to pay for it.
That is true.
For how long? I had a bunch of people come at me today.
Oh.
And they were all just like, hey, you know this thing you know nothing about? Could you learn an encyclopedic knowledge of it in 3 months? And I was like, oh, okay. And then somebody different comes up and says, hey, you know this other thing that you don't know about? I need you to learn that in fucking, like, a week. And I'm like, oh, okay, cool. And then other people come up and they're like, hey, make a cover. And they're like, hey, you should make this cover. And it's just like, oh my God, guys, I'm gonna fucking die. Stop. Like, I don't know. I'm very overwhelmed with all this car shit happening and just, like, constant reminder of it. It's just been a bad time. But you know what? There is a silver lining in all of this. Mm-hmm. If I manage to get out of it, I'll be incredibly awesome.
That works.
So at least there's that. Stay chipper, ladies and gentlemen. I know we like to be a little dour. At times we like to be a little cynical. Just teeny little bit cynical, but you know what? If you get through your hardships, you might just come out a little stronger. Like the great Vegeta once said, Kakarot! I want you to fuck my butt! It was inspirational. It's inspiration to us all, frankly. I think you need to take those words to heart, ladies and gentlemen. When things are keeping you awake at night. Make sure you remember that.
Oh, that was the dumbest thing I've ever heard. I love it.
Oh, I know something we could talk about that's kind of cool.
Okay.
Because we're in the habit of just like recommending cool shit to go check out.
Yeah.
You can distract yourself with some cool shit.
Cool shit is always cool. And shit. Wait.
There's an album that I've been listening to. It's by this guy named Steven Wilson is the musician, and he is the Porcupine Tree guy. From that's that band that Kippa always liked growing up. Is Porcupine Tree. They're ultra prog and cool. And
of course they're ultra prog. Josh likes
community.
it. Friend of the show, Josh, not our fans who are called Josh.
Yes, collectively. Anyhow, this guy did this album. Actually, the album is on. The album is I guess you'd call it, it's not quite a rock opera, and it's sort of a concept album exploring an idea that he had, but it relates to the case of this woman named Joyce Vincent, I think was her name. She was a UK lady, and not that long ago, like in 2003, she died in her apartment.
Oh God!
And she was not much older than us at the time, so it's weird that she died, and they don't know how she died, and she went unnoticed for 2 years. Her absence was unnoticed.
Jesus.
And this was not a homeless person. This was not a person who did not have friends or family. And they're like, why the hell did it take 2 years for anyone to notice the fact that they hadn't seen or heard from her? And when they broke her door in, finally, she was a skeleton on the couch. And the TV was still on.
Wow.
Because she had, some kind of program that automatically paid her bills.
Yeah.
And it's just, that's what happened to her. And the Porcupine Tree guy was like, that's a sad, weird story. I'm going to make an album that's sort of inspired by it. So the album's called Hand Cannot Erase. And the song that I like from that is the titular song, Hand Cannot Erase. And I've been listening to it a lot, and it's cool. And it's a cool proggy time. Go check it out.
Yeah.
And
honestly, the thing I took away from this the most was, how the fuck does a TV stay on for 2 years? That's impressive. Get the brand name of that television. Buy from them.
Given the time period, it was probably one of the old analog ones. It was probably not a digital one that would burn out.
They're those that built to last. They don't make them like they used to. I tell you, they also don't make them in fucking black and white with a 3-inch screen. So you take the good with the bad.
I'm more surprised that there was never a power outage in 2 years. Because, how many times have we lost power here?
Oh, yeah.
It's not for long.
But the TV stays off.
Yeah, the TV turns off.
Well, again, maybe it was analog where, it was a literal switch that is on and off and not just you press the button once and it goes on. You press the button again, it goes off. But if it unplugs, then it just resets it and it just stays off. But instead, what if it was a click, and you click it to on, and as long as it's drawing power, it stays on.
Yeah.
So whether if you unplug it, it goes off. If you plug it back in, like a vacuum cleaner.
Yeah, yeah.
Like a vacuum cleaner.
Okay, yeah.
Like Pumpkin's least favorite thing.
Are there any animals that like a vacuum cleaner?
I just imagine this
not.
koala bear on a Hoover. You're like, oh no, Joby, get off me vacuum cleaner. You shitty damn koala.
Get off me Dyson.
Oh, you got a eucalyptus on my vacuum cleaner.
It's clogging up me bag. It's okay, mate. It's a Dyson. There is no bag.
Where's all the shit go?
Uh-oh.
It just goes out the end.
That'd be great. That reminds me of this video I saw. I saw a very, do you guys remember this show that was on Comedy Central a while ago? I can't remember what, Trigger Happy TV.
Yeah.
I saw a very Trigger Happy TV-esque, Facebook prank today, where there's this guy in a boat, in a little fishing boat, just trying to get out of the pier, and he's under this bridge, and the camera's focused on him, and then he just suddenly gets dumped on by white paint, and the camera zooms out, and the dude's pissed off as shit, and he's looking up at what fell on him, and it zooms out, and there's a guy dressed like a pigeon standing above him on the bridge. The guy's just like, get down here! You get down here! And the pigeon guy's just doing wing shrugs, and I thought it was very funny.
It'd be funnier if that happens. He's just in a boat fishing, and a shit ton of white paint just gets dunked on him out of nowhere, and then it pans out, and there's just nothing but clear, open sky above him.
Oh! And I should mention, this isn't a road bridge or anything. This looks like some sort of bridge for a utility of some sort. Only a very specialized small vehicle would go on it. No cars are meant to go on this bridge. So it made it extra funny to me.
Yeah.
That the guy made that much effort to go out there and do that. I also like talking back to Trigger Happy TV. I remember the pigeon bits in that show were funny as well.
Yeah.
Where like the people would be feeding pigeons in the park, and then all of a sudden a dude dressed as a giant pigeon would just come up and attack them.
Sort of Eric Andre.
Oh yeah. Also in the spirit of Eric Andre is that guy who dresses like Satan and like fucks up people's lives. Like
Donald Trump?
Yes. I said dress like Satan, B, right? Not is Satan. Anyway, no, this guy, he dresses up like your like stereotypical version of the devil, like in a cheap dollar store version, and he just goes around places and fucks with people in the most obnoxious way. Like he goes on this golf course and like runs out of the bushes when people are making a long putt and kicks the ball out of the way, but it totally looks like it's gonna make it. And like there, I think there was one where this guy was selling balloons and he just leaps out of the bushes with a giant pair of bush shears and just clips the whole bunch and they all go flying. I feel sorry for all the people he's fucking with, but at the same time, it's the fact that he's dressed like the fucking devil.
Yeah.
It makes it so hilarious to me.
If I saw that happen in real life, I would lose my goddamn mind.
Unless it were your balloons.
Yeah, then I'd be sad. But
I think I've seen one like that where the guy standing on the sidewalk and it's raining and he's got all these umbrellas and he's just like passing them out to people that don't have them, and then like they'll grab the umbrella, they open it, and then on the top it says like fuckhead or wanker.
That's pretty good. Like, well, you did accept an umbrella from Satan. Something like that was bound to happen. Speaking of, what did you expect? Just to top off the episode with something upbeat, did y'all check that Sonic the Hedgehog reveal today?
Yeah.
Oh,
did
baby!
not.
It's a good time. And by good time, I mean, it's like Alvin and the Chipmunks meets a Sonic Hedgehog.
Oh,
and
no.
it's, on one hand, I'm happy that it isn't the muscle-bound horror show that we all thought it was going to be, but on the other hand, it sucks because it's not the muscle-bound horror show that I thought it was going to be.
It just looks really generic and boring. It's like, hey, modern Hollywood studio, how would you imagine a realistic Sonic the Hedgehog? By the way, don't try.
yeah.
And it's like, it's funny to me because he looks like his name would actually be Sonic TM. Like he looks like he would have a trademark as his full name.
Yeah.
It makes, I don't know. That movie's gonna be a disaster, and I can't wait. And a movie that I'm looking forward to might also be a disaster, but I also can't wait for it, but for different reasons. Detective Pikachu!
Yes.
That second trailer dropped, and I'm super excited for it.
Yeah.
So keep an eye out for both disasters, ladies and gentlemen, including the final disaster, which is approaching right now. Wow, that is a big tornado.
That's Hurricane Lubu. Don't bring him in here.
Ah! It's Lubu! Quick, drop the giant boulders!
Now even you know I am a menace. I hand you the secrets to save the entire human race and the entire universe.
This episode brought to you by Zhang Bao. If you need boulders brought to your house, just do it! Just call the Bao! This wind is still blowing, by the way.